Greetings, good morning from the beautiful San Francisco Bay Area, possibly snowy San Francisco Bay Area. Greetings, welcome to 5 Play Friday. We're looking at plays. Help me out from across the country. What do you do when you see snow? Here at A Better Official World headquarters, we are not inundated by snow, but in adjacent communities very close to us, there is snow on the hills falling from the sky. I have no idea how to handle that. Help me out with that. We got some great plays today, including some from my games where I may have screwed things up. We'll see. We'll see. We're trying to get better. And we're certainly not above criticism, right? When we analyze our game video, we're looking at all of the things so we can get better. What do we have on the agenda for live stream viewers? We got You Make the Call play number 1. A screening play from one of my games that got great interaction on feedback, on Facebook rather. A couple more plays from me, and And then we got a Blarge scenario. Play 5. Last second clock malfunction in a big game in Utah. DeMatha, 0.3 on the clock, foul. When a player catches the basketball, what do we do in that situation? And then a situation where a free throw shooter is cheating. Let's put it that way. Goes to the line when they were not entitled. How do we handle those situations? That's just a preview of things to come for live stream viewers. I hope everybody is well. Ray, I am with you. We are just trying to wake up. Come on, man. Good to see you, Ray. Good to see you. Hope you had good playoff games. Jason Honey lamenting did not start officiating early enough. Of course, I joined the officiating ranks late in life at age 48. So, yeah, when officials are younger, they have an opportunity to develop their skills at a young age. That's fantastic. But at whatever age we come to it, we need to apply ourselves, get better as basketball officials. See, now here's the deal. So when I go live, I get sort of an updated look at the comments and reactions, but I'm not looking at it on YouTube, right? My streaming software, Ecamm Live, the #1 live streaming software for Mac, there's a link in the show description. So the first comment that I see is from Jason Honey, but then he makes reference to Mike Myers making a comment, but I don't see that. So sometimes I miss the early part of the instruction. Jason's last game of the season tonight. Yeah, well, excellent. Well, so it's your first year of varsity. Perfect. I'm sure there were many lessons learned. Many lessons. We learn something with each and every game. We learn something with each and every partner or partners. Some things we learn are things that we really want to do. Some things that we learn are we really don't want to do. But we are learning. Patrick Weaver is in the house. I hope all is well up in New Hampshire. Judgment comes into question. Tom Hickey from Milwaukee, great to see you in the chat. Larry Morrell. I can't remember. Kevin Smith, 40 years on the floor. Excellent. The season is still going. I've got potentially 4 more games for the state tournament. When we get a notification from the state here in California that you've been selected for state tournament games, it's not crystal clear exactly how many, but there's hints along the way. So fingers crossed that we can, just like, how about one more game? When I did my state final, that was like, hey, how about we go on a 5-game run, right? With my crew. Clarence is in the house. I will never call you Chris again. Excellent. Dakota Ted is digging out. We're digging out here with a light dusting at places. We're digging out. Oh. What a mess. Rescheduling. Jason Hayes is poised for playoff action coming up. Good to see you, Jason. Al Kennedy, great to see you, Al. Hope all is well. From icy West Michigan. Mike, you have a great point. We could just position the officials in the right in the middle of the fans, about 4 rows up, where they really have a great view. Although we have to recognize sometimes people in the stands do have an angle that we wish we had. That's just like when we have coaches, right? We have a play. You realize the coach is like 10 feet down from you as trail. Would they have had a better look? Probably. Just have to recognize that. A better angle, rather. Chris Janish is in the house. Chris, is this maybe a rare episode where we don't have a Chris Janish play? I put in some of my own plays, so. Well, what was the line? What was the line? Dave Craig is in the house. Good to see you, Dave. 18 inches of snow and 5 degrees below. Yeah. Mike, having been rebuked for taunting, comes in a little more subtly from Tampa, Florida. Excellent. Listen to Patrick. Let's hit the like button and get this party started. I think I'm well prepared for the show today. I think so. I know I have great clips, right? But there's some other stuff that sometimes the tech team doesn't quite take care of everything that needs taken care of, and we have our lights turned on, and we the fading lights across the desk here like this, fading. The battery is fading, just like the season is setting. The sun is setting on the season. Good morning, Aaron Bender from Madison. Excellent. Mark, we have a play from Utah. Oh, Aaron takes up the taunting. Poolside at the hotel in Louisville. Oh, excellent. Good luck to her as she competes in gymnastics. What are her events? Does anybody here officiate gymnastics? Does gymnastics have officials or does it have judges? What's the category? I imagine if there's a gymnastics meet, there's got to be a lot of people involved with that. A lot of people, right? Just like in swim teams, like in swimming events, there's just parents have to volunteer and do all this stuff. Fill us in on judging. I don't think we'll have any snow on the roads. Yes, it is a rare event here in the Bay Area, but it's around. It's around. I live here in the shadow of Mount Diablo, a pretty significant mountain here in the beautiful San Francisco Bay Area, and I'm sure there will be snow on the peaks. I'm sure that will be the case. Adam Pruitt. All right, playoff season indeed. Adam, I hope the rest of your playoffs go well. Good morning, Darwin. Go blue. Go blue, at least momentarily. Let's see if we get anything else. Mark, good to see you. Excellent. Richard Masterson, show supporter in the house, Rhode Island. How many people live in Rhode Island? It's a very small state. What's the population of Rhode Island compared to South Dakota? Much bigger. I do not have these facts at my fingertips. Kelly Hefner, good to see you. Okay. All right. I got you, Mike. So I saw those. So the sort order was a little different. Maybe when I get presented the comments, they're like in reverse order. And then subsequently after that, they're in a live order. It's interesting. Okay. So I saw that comment, but that was not at the top of the comments that I had. So that's interesting. We're learning. Oh, Vic got the early game at Golden 1. Are those on YouTube or on NFHS Network? Interesting. Well, I'll tell you what, Vic, if you are heading to your section championship, of course, there's going to be nobody, the energy in the arena will be super low. But do me a favor, would you call it both ways, ref? Come on! Excellent. Congratulations on that, Vic. I hope you guide your crew and make things happen. Paul Clay in the house. Championship games coming tonight and tomorrow in the section. Paul, there was a controversy. I think you were working the game, Reardon and Sarah, something last second. I go to NFHS Network and the game's truncated. So I'm sure you got it right. If not, you could send me a clip. But Paul, it's always great to see you. Okay, let's do that. Todd is in the house. How are you, Todd? We have no. There's no snow here at A Better Official World headquarters. But, yeah. The taunt is real. I did not watch the game in its entirety. It was clear what was going to happen last night. It may be true. It may be true, Jacob. It may be true. You never know. You never know, but they are in a hole, and the hole's getting deeper right now. All right. Greg Becker's in the house. 26 degrees. Oh, excellent. Well, congrats to her. Vault, uneven parallel bars, the beam, and floor exercise. Excellent. Well, she must be, I imagine you have to be pretty good to compete in all of those. Pretty versatile, obviously. That's tremendous. What did I miss? Something. There's numerals being bandied about. Okay. All right, Vic. I got you. Jared, good to see you. Billy Mack is here. Finally. I was just waiting for Billy Mack to show up so we can get started. I say that just to humor you, but of course we're waiting for the Zooch. Awesome. Climate change, yes. Climate changing, yes. Yeah. The coffee is delicious today. All right. Okay, fantastic. Pop quiz. Tony says 1.1 million. I assume that's Rhode Island. Oh, maybe that's what the references are to. Oh, I got you. How about South Dakota? I mean, much bigger. I wonder. I don't know. Jordan is here from Maine. Good to see you. Awesome. Okay, let me see if I remember how to do this. Right, I took Wednesday off. Sorry about that, everybody. But we gotta amp up and remember how we do this. How do we do this show? Oh yeah, I remember. Okay. Let me see. Oh. Right. Okay. All right. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Greetings, welcome back. 5 Play Friday. We are here. We are looking at plays, looking at all the things. How many plays? 5 plays. Stick around. Greetings, welcome back to 5 Play Friday, the show where we break down all of the things so we can get better as basketball officials. Let's get started with our very first play. As we like to do, it's a you make the call play. What do you have on this play? All right, no call is the ruling on the play. All right, no call is the ruling on the play. Is this correct? Using National Federation of High School Basketball rules in the comments below. Put your ruling. Legal play, backcourt violation, or something else? And of course, stick around to the end of the show. We will review play number 1 in its entirety at the end of the show. And with that, let's take a look at play number 2. All right. Broke out one of my own plays, but I appreciate you joining today for 5 Play Friday. I'm Greg Austin with The Better Official. We craft video to help basketball officials get better. And one of the ways we do that is we look at plays and analyze all of the things so that we can get better together. All right, let's take a look now at what we have on this play. Ruling is illegal screen by the calling official. Is this the correct call? Was the try released prior to the foul itself? Would this be, should this goal have counted? Were we correct in canceling the goal? We are looking at all of the things. Let's break down this play here. So we got lead, rules, and illegal screen. Let's take a look at our screener on this play. Right, position as a crew, plays down the lane. Our lead is a little pinched. I don't know if we've just had a rotation on this play, but widens the look and is officiating the non-shooter action on this play. Of course, the shooter themselves would belong to the trail in this situation. Of course, we have a 26-point lead with 5 minutes to go in the game. Right, so basically we have a teammate of the shooter who boxes out a defender who is attempting to make a play, attempting to get to the three-point line and defend. So the judgment questions that come into play here are, is this incidental contact? If we took this matchup here, right, and let's brought it in, and this same action occurred here, would this be incidental contact? Is this incidental contact on this play? Right, our defender makes an effort, but is prevented from getting to the shooter by the illegal contact. I had hip contact on this play and canceled the goal. Very close. If we take a look, when the initial contact occurs, it's right there. Ball's still in the hand. That's super close. if somebody else on the crew comes in with information like that ball was out prior to the contact, right, then we would score that goal and handle the foul itself differently. In this instance, it's ruled a team control foul. Our official has been working hard on getting his team control foul mechanics down for high school games. Maybe emulating Chris Janish, frequent show contributor. Right. So, but in the end, we have a ruling of a team control foul prior to the release of the goal, canceling the score, end line throw into the opponent. Lots of questions about this play you can bring up in this situation. Always, though, time and score are factors. We do not want to miss any action, illegal actions by White in this situation. And to my mind, the action, even though the defender really had zero chance of getting to the shooter, they were attempting to do so. And the illegal contact needs to be addressed in this situation. So, in this situation, my choice was to put the ruling into the game. It's a great play for review in terms of coverage, what you're looking at, your awareness on plays, etc. If you were on the crew in this situation and you felt that the try had been released before the foul occurred, not necessarily the whistle, right? But you could come in and say, hey, that ball was released when your whistle was blown, and you could have that discussion as well. Would you be willing to work as a crew in that situation? But a great play scenario. Right, and we're always analyzing our game videos so that we can get better as basketball officials. Okay. Let me have it. Let me have it. Yeah, some people love this call. Some people say, not there. Let's take a look. All right. Zooch, we have gotten rid of that extremely archaic switching with the tableside official in this instance here in California. Can't have it, right? So this is the correct mechanic here in California. No long switch in this situation. Dave has illegal screen. Yeah, it's close. It's close. Thanks, Paul. The struggle is real. The struggle is real. I actually, on a rebounding foul by a teammate of the shooter, I may have broken that signal out in this game in an inappropriate situation. Mike, I say there's definitely contact on the play. Hip contact. Right, we watch that rear leg. But it's the action, it's the action, our brain sometimes puts things together. Dave Witt in the house. Oh, excellent. It's close, Greg. It's close. Jason asking, how do we get NFHS video? You got to screen record. That's the only option. I've refined my capabilities. I have some capability with my live streaming software to bring video in, but I do screen recording for NFHS network clips. Aaron likes it. It's one of those play. I'll tell you, the offended coach did not like it. And Mike, I think you nailed it. I had in this same game, I had a defender or an offensive player, do the chicken wing, get around a post player, and I put a whistle on it from the play from center. And later, a couple of plays later, the coach says, on that play down there, what happened? What did she do illegally? And I explained exactly what she did, and she said, well, that's just good offense. No, it's not. Good morning, Michael Ho. Good to see you. I agree with you. Well, I appreciate all the support. I can also appreciate Mike's perspective that there's not obvious contact to him in this situation. But so, I mean, just to be honest, in this situation, time and score are a factor to me, and I'm not looking for purity in this situation. I'm not looking for, I want an absolute 100% purity. That's just my approach in this situation. If we see an obvious action by a teammate that is impeding a player who's attempting to get to the ball, I'm going to bend in that direction. Gotcha. It's close. It's close as to where it should be. Maybe as the calling official, it would give more credibility if I went sideline there. That's a good point, Al. It's close. Let's just say it's close as to where, I mean, so where should our resulting throw in be? If that is our contact, let's go. Yeah, it's outside. Awesome. Well, yeah, okay. Well, it's easy for me now in terms of mechanics because my collegiate season is over and I can sort of put that away. So early in the season, collegiate games happen first prior to the high school. And so it's easy to really get into collegiate mechanics. Of course, in collegiate mechanics, we don't use the behind the head thing on the women's side. It's strictly a punch, and you can really focus in on those. And then when you get into the season, right, you're trying to have a personal pregame before the game to get your head straight about mechanics. But of course, in the moment, who knows what's going to happen? Who knows? But the collegiate season is behind us, so I am Mr. Hand Behind the Head. And I really am. Watching Chris Janish on his plays, it's really helped me. It's like, well, I want to do that. And of course, as basketball officials, we see different officials and different mechanics and the way that they approach things, and we say, I want to emulate that, right? I do not want to emulate that. So I appreciate that, Chris. You've helped me immeasurably. Tremendous. Jason says he's wondering when she became a shooter in relationship to the contact. So once a try has been released, illegal contact by a teammate of the shooter would not be a team control foul. Because when does team control end? When the ball is released by a shooter. So if in this instance, right, we notice when does the release occur? Let's say right there. So if the foul was after, which you could make a case, if the foul was after, this would not be a team control foul. The team control foul causes the ball to become dead because a try has not yet been released. If a try is released, a foul would not be a team control foul in this instance. And if the team was in the bonus, green would be awarded bonus free throws. Gus does not like the call. I can appreciate that. All right. Okay. All right. So a close call ruled an illegal screen, canceling the goal on that one. You may have something different. If you do, you can always put it down in the comments below. But let's move on and look at another play that I may have screwed up. Who knows? Let's take a look at play number 3. All right, this is a great who is officiating whom play, right? Center seaside drives always give us a tremendous opportunity to look at discipline of the crew and understanding crew dynamics. Who is officiating who on this play, right? Well, obviously, primary defender on a ball handler all the way to the basket, in this instance, would belong to the center. Who is officiating the player who swipes down from the side? Who is officiating the big in the lane? Who, does she create illegal contact either with the body or up top? Who is officiating whom? And then crew discipline. If we do have a double whistle, what do we want to do in that instance? This was relatively early in this game, beginning of the second period, and it's a double whistle scenario, right? And so as the center, as calling official here, I had the foul by the primary defender on the play, but my partner had a whistle as well. And what we want to do in this instance is recognize the double whistle, recognize what we feel happened first. But what we could have on this play, if we look at it, is maybe illegal contact on the swipe down. We just want to make sure that we both have the same play. In this instance, my language coming in is I've got 5 from behind. I believe it's black 5, right? I've got 5 from behind, right? And that happened first. And my partner may say, well, I've got the swipe down from the player from the outside. And would that be something that they would look at, a secondary defender outside their primary, right? If you look at seaside drives from the center to the basket, consistently there's going to be multiple defenders involved, and we have to be disciplined as a crew in how we attack these plays. And if we are analyzing our own game video, if we are new to analyzing our own game video, analyzing plays like this, and say, what was I looking at? What would I have as lead? Do I want to have more patience? right? Do I want to recognize maybe I came a little early? I could always get this later, right? If my right. So if we pre-gamed this, we'd probably say, okay, look, seaside drive. I've got the primary defender, all the way to the basket. If there's something on the front side that you feel that I cannot see, come get it. If we have an obvious foul, let's put the whistle on the play, right? That would be our pregame discussion. Maybe as lead, we like, oh, I see the foul, I react to the foul, maybe I go early. Things happen, right? But what's really important to me on this play is recognizing that we have multiple whistles on the play, conferring to make sure that we have the right thing. And we're setting the groundwork for a play potentially later in the game where we may have fouls on different players, and we need to determine which happened first or which would be appropriate in this situation. So a great clip, for me to look at, analyzing all of the things. And like I say, if you are working a game and you want to do some video pregame, just do a seaside drive play, right? Because you're going to always have a triangle of defenders. Who is officiating whom? What kind of discipline do we want to have on the crew? What kind of information? And of course, always recognizing when we have a double whistle to confirm and affirm what the ruling will be on the play. That's what he's got about that. Love the seaside drive plays. We might have another one. Chris says, let's go here. Yeah, so if we look at the action by the center, right, obviously I have a great look here. The play goes, right, anytime the play goes from our left to our right, we want to move from our right to our left, so we maintain this angle. But as Chris points out, the angle, does it dissipate? Do we maintain an open look on the play? Got to look at the swipe there. I had the push early, and then there's the rake on the front side as well. Let me go back. Sorry, Chris. I didn't fully comprehend what you said. Yeah, so Chris is suggesting 2 position adjusts here, right? We're here, make the move to our left. Yeah, that's tough. The defenders, move like this. All right, let me go back. That's previous play. Yes, if the foul came after the shot was released, that we would score the goal. Yes. And Mike, I appreciate that. I appreciate that 100%. And very valid. Very valid. Okay. All right. So Mike says center has A. I think that's clear. The lead has the C, and then that's exactly what I would say. Is Mike? Let's do this. So Mike's. Come on, man. So if we're breaking this play down, this matchup here belongs to the center all the way to the basket. We've got this player here who swipes down on the front side. It may not be visible to the center official. The center official could guess here that there was no contact or there was contact, but does not have a clear look. The lead, which, when the ball came over here, was probably beginning a rotation, recognized the drive and stopped. Perfect, right? Should have an opinion about the swipe down. Oh, I'm sorry, the swipe down here, but then have their primary or their secondary defender here. And if there's something that occurs on the front side that the center does not see or does not put a whistle on, then come with a cadence whistle in that instance. That would be the sort of the fundamental breakdown on the play. And if you are the trail, right, you're going to have an open look on that illegal contact if it's on the front side, which there's obvious illegal contact on the swipe down on the front side on this play, right? And you could say, well, I'm the trail on this play. That is not my primary. I will not put a whistle. I will trust my partners. Or you could say, that's a foul. That needs a whistle. I am going to put a whistle on that play. I had an open look on the play, right? When our partners have a double whistle, our trail's kind of left like, well, who's going to take this play? Best to just freeze there and recognize those two officials are going to be busy and we need to observe players. This is a low-tension game. And it all works out. I like it. I like it. Good crew on this game. Yeah, I don't see any illegal contact by our defender in the lane. Kevin always cautions his crew to have a patient whistle. The problem, though, is, Kevin, the game happens. And for whatever reason, right, we always want to be our best. We want to be super disciplined. And sometimes, those Fox 40s are sometimes defective, and they just go off. I didn't put whistle in. I didn't put air in the whistle. I agree. I like that language. Right, because we want to be, potentially we're laying the groundwork here for an end of game situation where we have fouls by multiple players. In that situation, we want to determine what happened first, almost always. No, my partner had the call on the front side action. Okay, all right, now I'm caught up. Yeah, I would say that's all positive, Ted. And also after a conference, we always want the head nodding to occur, right? We're on the same page. A little bow. But when we conference, even if there's some disagreement, when we come out of any communication, right? We want to show solidarity as a crew with positive body language. We will see a play later that may be a little different. All right. Kevin points out we can have this play where we have a push into a secondary defender. We could definitely have a double whistle in that situation. The timing of the whistle may be very similar as well. And we want to get the play that happened first. So that's a great point, Kevin. boy, you know, often gets overlooked, but it's so rich, right? In forcing the officials to say who is officiating whom, right? And that, you know, entrenching us in discipline in our primary coverage area and the players we should be officiating on a play, and then subsequently the timing of whistles that come into play. That is very hot. Ooh. Just the way we like it. Okay. All right. Beating this one to a right. Sean says the push, right? I don't have the push until the player has begun their habitual try for goal. I mean, she was going to the line for sure. All right. Okay. I want to go here. Do I want to try that? Let me see something here. Bear with me. This really helps me with the editing of the show. Let's do it. Let's do it. Hey, a brief time out. Let me thank our tremendous show supporters who help fuel the broadcast. Let's take a look at who is up on the show supporter big board today. Jason Mays, Bill Brand, Richard Masterson, Jeffrey Jorgensen, and Gene Boglin. Much appreciated and much love. You want to support the show? I'll put a link in the show notes below. I'll put one up above. And with that, let's take a look at our next play. All right, Seaside Drive. I consider this to be a Seaside Drive in that the lead is rotating. Similar, who's officiating whom? No call by the officials who had the primary coverage area on the play. Is this a trust your partner play, or is this an obvious foul that needs a whistle play, right? We, as a crew, prior to the game, we need to have a commitment to putting whistles on obvious fouls. Time and score comes into play here as well. Right? But all of the things, right? When we analyze our game video, this is a great play to look at who is officiating whom, what discipline do we have in our rotations, what we're looking at while we're rotating, what could we do to improve on the play, right? So our first reaction here is, when I look at my game video, is this player who caught the ball is moving from left to right. The reaction by the official, a little surprised by the basketball, it appears, but is to move in a similar fashion. What would we want to do as a habitual action? Step down to get the open look, right? So that doesn't occur on this play. And we don't see this frontside action, which there's illegal contact here by white number 2 on this play. Who could potentially see that illegal contact, right? We have a rotating player here who appears to be watching the ball action. There's no real competitive matchup here, but we do have a defender here who's left unofficiated. Now, again, we have a situation where we've got a swipe down by a player from the outside. Our lead official, what I notice on this play is our lead official is closing down to this spot. And I think everything would be enhanced here if we rotated further and closed down to this spot, right? If we mirrored the ball in this situation and got an outside in look, we'd be able to officiate both the swipe down here and the secondary defender. And if we're the center official on this play, what do we have? We have a non-competitive matchup or an ineffective matchup here. If we see the swipe down by the defender here, but we definitely have to have this player here, right? Is this illegal contact by our defender, right? That would be a judgment we need to make on this play. Our offensive player goes airborne here, and our defensive player is moving into that defender. That is illegal contact. A blocking foul should be ruled. The ball goes in the basket. Goal is scored. Lead. Cadence whistle comes in. Blocking. Score the goal. Right? Time and score are a factor on this play. We do not want to miss fouls by white in this situation. Right? A great play to look at. Again, what are we looking at? We're looking at habits and fundamentals, how they could be improved, right? Crew discipline, who is officiating whom, what's our commitment to put whistles on obvious fouls in the absence of whistles from players, from officials who have the primary coverage area on the play, right? Again, a seaside drive gives us an opportunity because it's complicated, right? It's complicated, and it forces us to look at all of our habits and fundamentals. Did we step down as we should have? Did we rotate completely as we should have? Did we recognize the rotation as center as we should have, right? What could we improve, and how can we bring these habits and fundamentals into our own game so that we can all get better? How could we do that? How could we do that? When I put this on Facebook, it got tremendous, it really inspired a lot of great feedback and constructive discussion on the play. Let's see, where are we? Where are we? Ooh, Billy. I love it. I love it. Yeah, so I got this from Trail. This call should come from C. I mean, the C should have had a whistle prior to the Trail. I definitely believe that. Yes, Zooch, this is the Greg Show. I believe she did. Trail official doesn't have that. If that came from the lead, would that be appropriate? I think our center is a little late, right? Because if we look at the situation, all right, let's say you are center on this play. Where am I? Right? So again, habits and fundamentals. Let's look at, right, the ball is being passed in front of the lead. What is the center looking at? When the ball is caught, right? This is something we can look at. When I am old Trail and the ball is caught in the center's primary, am I still watching the ball, right? We work 2-person, then 3-person, 2-person, then 3-person, right? This would be potentially our play. As a lead in 2-person, it's hard to break that habit. But when do we look off ball? Right, still holding on to it. Right, what we would want to do is find this potential screening action here. See what, and once we start looking in this direction, then we see our lead is rotating. Do we expect a rotation in this situation where the ball has settled in the center's primary and there are 6 players on that side of the floor with more coming? Yes, we would. So that when the ball is caught here, we officiate off ball, we pick up the rotation, and we step down. Many, including me, would start stepping down as soon as the ball is caught in the center's primary, at least a step. But if we're officiating off ball, then we're going to pick up this rotation a little bit sooner. Yeah, that's what we've got. We were not going to miss a foul on white in that situation. Lost Lake has RA? I think when the contact occurred, she would have been out of any restricted area. Kevin Smith, play on? I think that play needed a whistle, obviously. All right, so let's look at the lead and what they were looking at. Right? So like I say, we end up shorting ourselves and officiating from here between the A and the T, probably closer to the T. Again, I am not a fan of this location to officiate the game, right? The lead recognizes the swipe down by the defender, but does not then have a chance to transfer eyes to this player. If we had just gone a little bit further, I think that gives us the opportunity to see both the swipe down and pick up the secondary defender. It gives us our best chance. Right? If this official, instead of being here, was here, I think they have the opportunity to do that, right? And transferring our eyes and the ability to transfer eyes and the timing of transferring our eyes is really critical. All right. Chris, probably seeing it before I did. Yeah. Don't understand, Michael. Well, it's a play that needed a whistle. And we had a play earlier in the game where crash, 2 players on the floor, no whistle on the play. I was not in position. You just have to be committed, I think, to putting whistles on plays that need whistles. I mean, that's a super strong belief of mine, and time and score are critical in that equation. All right. Great in the chat. Dave says definitely needed a whistle. And a whistle we had. All right. Okay. We've had crew communication in previous plays. Let's look at this play and look at all the things. Let's take a look at play number 5. Sorry about that. All right, block charge play, 2 different rulings from the officials. What do we have on this play? Again, who is officiating whom comes into question, crew communication, all of the things, and in this instance, proper adjudication in this instance. If this occurs in your game, do you know how to handle this properly by rule, right? So it's a great play scenario. And we can look at all of the things and, who is officiating whom? Do we recognize a double whistle? Do we confirm and affirm that we have the same thing? Do we have discipline as an outside official in not showing what our call is, recognizing that leads tend to go quickly, etc.? All the habits and fundamentals. And then in the end, what is the proper adjudication of this play where one official rules a block, one official rules a charge, the ball goes in the basket, right? It's a tough situation to know. It's handled potentially differently at different rules, at different levels. Something we have to be aware of. But let's look at all of the things on this play. Okay, so, right, our crew discusses the fact that they have different rulings on this play, but the out of that right, we get a head nod, and we are agreeing that we are going to go with the block on this play. 2 officials confer. They have different rulings on the play, and they come out with a common ruling or deferring to one of the officials who may or may not, this may or may not be in their primary coverage area, and go with a blocking foul and awarding a single free throw to our thrower. Let's look at all the things. Who is officiating whom on this play? Right? Obviously, our trail has primary defender. We've got a secondary defender here. We've got a secondary defender here. Who is officiating whom? This is the lead's primary coverage area. This would be their defender. This would be the center's defender. If you had, and you could possibly have this player sinking in for a swipe action here that would want our center to get as well. Player comes from the center's primary, enters the lead's primary coverage area, has 2 feet on the floor facing the opponent. You could say they possibly began their backward movement early, possibly, but had legal guarding position on the play. One official indicates a charge. One official indicates a block. What would be the correct adjudication of this play? Let's go there as well. In a situation where you have a block ruled and a charge ruled, it is a double foul by rule. Again, this is just at the start of the second period in a game, right? We're here at the end of the season. We always want to take our situations and say, how could we handle this by rule? If this was a high scrutiny environment where One team is going to go home after this game, and one team is going to advance in a playoff situation, in a league championship, in a section championship, in a state championship, right? What is the correct adjudication in this situation? What do we have? How do we recognize what we have, right? So in this situation, when one official rules a charge and one official rules a block, it is a double foul by rule using National Federation of High School Basketball rules. When there is a double foul, does the ball become dead? No, it does not. If the ball passes through the basket, it is to be scored. It would be a scored goal. Our point of interruption would be a scored goal by white, right? In a double foul situation, we report both fouls and resume at the point of interruption. No free throws can be attempted, right? But our first reaction is, well, there was a charge, so we can't score a goal because a charge causes the ball to become dead, etc. But the fact that it is in conjunction with a blocking foul being ruled by in the same player matchup between two players, it is to be considered a double foul, no longer a charge, and no longer does it cause the ball to become dead in that instance. So that would be the correct adjudication in this play scenario. And is it like super embarrassing? It's embarrassing, right, that we did not have, because what it does is expose that we did not have discipline on the play. We did not have rulings by both officials and coming together on the play. Without a primary signal, we would say. So the Blarge scenario, it happens. We just have to own that as a crew. If we want to do things correctly by rule in this situation, we need to rule it a double foul, score the goal, recognize that the goal was scored as well, and resume at the point of interruption would be a non-designated spot throw in to the opponent on the end line. That is the way it is. That is the way it is. All right, Mike Myers has submitted the play. Casey has a charge. Dave, hang in there. 2 weeks away from surgery. All right, I missed it a little bit. Hold on. No kidding. So Greg says, worse have it. Well, we can go back to that. I got you on the previous play. I apologize for the slow start on that play. My tech team did not edit that play very well. Everybody's got a charge on this, I think. Player control, easy charge, all day or all month. Okay, Greg says lead has the secondary defender. The problem comes that there's two secondary defenders on this play. I see this as a very successful ball handling move and not a carry. Billy Mack is fashion police. Joel says flopperoo. Right, Larry. Well, I don't know if the hip bang was all that quick, but what it did fail to do was recognize. Now, So right, if we're saying, okay, I'm the lead on this play, and a player comes, even though it is a secondary defender, and even though the play occurs in my primary coverage area, the defender came from the centers. Had we pre-gamed this, how we were going to handle a similar play? Probably not, right? But maybe we've got some fundamental basis for understanding. I don't see a complete agreement by the crew in the initial discussion, but I do see a capitulation by the center and recognizing, yes, that is what we're going to go with, and not like having some negative body, like, okay, whatever, bro. Right, so we could come out of this whole as a crew. Oh, bump that ahead. So, Kevin, at the NCAA women's level, the way we would handle this is the two officials would come together and come out with a common agreement about whether it was a block or a charge. There is no blarge scenario. NCAA women's. High school does not have that option. NCAA men's does not have that option. I don't believe NBA has that option. I don't know. But there's different ways to approach. And most of it, what officials are actually going to say, hey, we have a blarge. Let's do it correctly in this situation, right? In this league game in the beginning of the second period, right? That is just the way it goes. Aaron has the secondary defender is responsibility of the lead. C should defer to the lead. C should not show early. And we could have definitely avoided the situation with better discipline at the spot, or discipline on our initial calls. Sean, did you report it as such? 2 fouls on the play? And was it shooting? Troy Huber's in the house. It would have been close. It would have been close if there was an arc, and then we would have additional action. Who would be responsible for the feet of the defender? If we did have an arc on this play, right? The arc, of course. Oh, that's not good. What happens if I do this? And I do this. Our arc would be somewhere like right here. And it would be a question of, were the feet in the arc? And who would be responsible for having the feet? The center official. I think he'd probably be outside the arc. Right? And we'd want that center official to have the feet in that situation. Just saying. Agree with you, Mike. That's what it's all about. All right, how we doing? Okay. Yep. It presents challenges. A restricted area presents challenges. Yeah. And if you have 3-person for varsity for all games, that's helpful. Some states don't have that. And then a restricted area would be even more challenging. Yep. It'd be interesting to hear what the process was. I didn't even know that North Dakota had a restricted area. I know Minnesota does. What that whole process is like, because everybody's super resistant to change. Well, I think our defender here says, I'm going to take a charge, right? He sets up that his attempt to do it. That may be one of his roles on the team is I'm good at this. I can recognize situations, I can get there, etc. And yet, if they're willing to put themselves at risk for a foul, then you have to respect the fact and make a ruling on the play. Whoa, Kylie's in the house. Awesome. Tremendous. That's what? Oh, trail on the play. What was the, you could fill us in more about, I think we know how the discussion went. Let's see. Interesting. It absolutely will happen. Let's see. Hold on. Okay. All right. Oh. Oh. The lament. Yes. Huh. I did not know that, Troy. I did not know that. Interesting. What's the population of North Dakota? Is it bigger than Rhode Island? All right. Okay, awesome. All right. That was play number 5. All right, at the start of the show, we had a You Make the Call play. Let's take a look again at play. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. All right, at the start of the show, we had a You Make the Call play. Is this a backcourt violation or not? No call on the play. What do you have? Let's take a look at play number 1. All right, we have a defensive player clearly jump with front court status, catch the ball in the air, and land with a foot on the division line. There was no call on this play. What was your ruling on this play? What are all the things that we have to be aware of here? Let's take a look at the play, right? So we have a player jump with front court status. Let's take a look. The ball has backcourt status. The ball is still in team control by black team in this situation. The defensive player jumps from her front court. She has front court status relative to her team, catches the ball in the air, and lands with a foot on the division line. The division line is part of the backcourt. Is this not a backcourt violation? Is there some exception to the rule that makes this legal? Right? And that's the key here on this play is we know that there's a throw-in exception, right? But the throw-in exception is not actually a throw-in exception. There's an exception to the rule during a throw-in, during a jump ball, and while on defense that allows a player to jump from their front court, catch the ball in the air, and make a normal landing with backcourt status. And it doesn't matter which foot lands first. If her foot had landed in the front court and then in the backcourt then in the front court, both feet simultaneously, she would have backcourt status, or this would be a legal play by rule because of the rule's exception that exists. So the correct ruling in this instance was no backcourt violation. As we see, the player does move that pivot foot slightly. Possible travel violation if you had that in your ruling. But this is a legal play by rule because of the rule's exception. If this was a front court pass from her teammate and she jumped and caught the ball in this situation, of course, that would be something different. But thanks for playing along with play number 1. You make the call. Appreciate everybody joining today. And I guess that's going to wrap it up for us. Whoa, wait a minute. No, I want to do that. Oh. A double whistle is fine as long as we have crew discipline, right? Crew discipline. It's coming. We got several bonus plays, especially on the live stream. I got 4 bonus plays. Aaron, that's a great point about double whistles, right? Sometimes we're not aware that that our partner had a whistle, but there are situations where we need to prepare ourselves to be aware. In this situation, if you're the center, does the fact that the lead had a whistle on the previous play, is that a surprise? Right? We wouldn't expect it to be a surprise. Our lead might say, I'm surprised a whistle came from the center because this play was right in the middle of the lane, etc. But we have to have that awareness. Sometimes the environment will affect that. It was super noisy, right? But that's part of the discipline we have to have. All right. So Rhode Island is more populous than North Dakota. So 387,474 people have their own senator in North Dakota. Awesome. Michael has a backcourt violation. Yes, and of course, sometimes we get calls right for the wrong reasons. Trayvon has backcourt violation. Defender exception. Good language. Legal. Exception. Kevin, how is that a factor? Mark, yes, she did. She did. Should have used the music. Yeah, they used the music while the two officials were conferring. At least. Oh, that's a great point, Larry. That's a great point. That ball was deflected here by the defender right there, which on a throw-in would affect the exception applying. Oh, that's a great point. Well, it's clear which is the pivot foot, and it is lifted slightly. No whistle came on the play from the trail official, who might have been me. Kevin, she did lift, but she dribbles the basketball. I think. Does she? I don't know. The traveling's really not the part of the play. Not the key part of the play. Tremendous. Okay. Now, let's see. All right, the backcourt exception on that play. Let's now take a look at a bonus play from Utah. Final seconds of the game. Let's take a look. All right. So what we have on this play is the clock fails to start properly, does not start until the ball actually passes through the goal. How would we handle this situation? Was an error made? Was the correct ruling ultimately correct that this goal will score, etc.? And let's look at the habits and fundamentals of the crew on this play. Of course, in end-of-game situations, the clock starting and the clock stopping are critical, and having clock awareness, right, on made baskets, timeout requests, all of the things. We need to have that discipline as a crew, three-person crew. Usually you have a situation where one official does not have any primary matchup that they need to be focused on and can be aware of clocks in this situation. So let's look at all of the things here. I've had my tech team, my elite tech team, put an overlay here that would reflect what the accurate timing of the play should have been. Right? We've got two officials on this play with a hand up. Why do we have a hand up? Why do we drop our hand? It's important to recognize what we're doing by doing these things. We're not just doing things arbitrarily. We are signaling to the timer to start the clock. When you analyze your own game video, you can look and say, am I signaling to the timer to start the clock? In a situation like this, we want to be super accurate with our indication and help the timer to be accurate as well. Do we want the timer to be watching the official, watching the ball, right? Prior to this throw-in, would we have a discussion of with the timer, who would be tableside here? Trail officials say, hey, on my chop, right? Just a reminder, let's be great here, right? End of game situation, etc. And yet we have no indication to start the clock, right? As the lead official, do we have an indication to start the clock? Are we precise, right? That's what I would say. We want our habits and fundamentals to come through in key moments of the game, right? If we just relax our hand down, we're doing a disservice in this instance, to me, to my way of thinking. So we have a situation. Now it's like, wait a minute, I see the clock's, wait a minute, what can we do in this situation? Let's go back to our original scenario. Right, so we have two officials marking or ready to indicate to the timer to start the clock. If the timer was watching the official, they would not start the clock properly here. Ultimately, we drop. The clock does not start until after that. The ball goes in the basket. What is the correct way to handle this situation? Will this goal count? National Federation of High School Basketball level, we have no ability to make clock adjustments without definitive knowledge. What is our definitive knowledge, and when do we have it on this play? If we are the trail official and we don't recognize the clock is not properly started until this point, would we stop the clock in that situation? No, we have no reason to stop the clock. When could we make corrections on this play? Let's say in this same scenario, we are the lead official here, and we see down at the other end of the court that the clock started in this situation. What would we do? The clock started before the ball was touched inbounds. What would we do? We would blow our whistle and go back to the point of the original throw-in and administer the throw-in again with 2.0, because we have definitive knowledge it should be 2.0 and the clock started early, okay? Let's, though, say we get to here, or let's say we get to here, and now we see that the clock has not started. What should we do in that situation? That's where the real challenge lies in this play to me. Do we stop this action? Do we have definitive knowledge about what the count should be? This is a challenging moment because there's no counts. Could we have a subtle count as an off-ball official in this play? Did I, in my recent playoff game, have a subtle count in an end-of-quarter situation that was critical, where, we couldn't necessarily trust that the clock would start properly, so I could have definitive knowledge? Possibly. But in the end, on this play, the ball was released within the 2 seconds. Nobody was unduly harmed in this situation. A lot of energy, I guess, occurred in this game. Focus on the timer making a terrible mistake here. Did the timer make a terrible mistake? Did our crew make mistakes with our discipline, habits, and fundamentals on the play? And of course, when we analyze our game video, even if this was just the end of a first period in a preseason game, right? We want to start developing our habits and fundamentals so that when we get to the big game, we are refined. We have habits and fundamentals in place to keep us from misadjudicating plays, right? In this instance, it's very difficult, puts a lot of pressure on the crew. Would we, if we recognize the clock failed to start, would we stop play, which would put the white team at a severe disadvantage, right? Do we, or would we have to go with, like, let's say we went in this situation, we are the lead official, let's say, And we recognize right here at this point, I glance at the clock and I see that the clock hasn't moved. And I blow my whistle right here. And I'm taking a shot away from white, but we're recognizing that a timing error has occurred and that we need to fix it. What would we do in that situation? We have no definitive knowledge, if we did that, whether to take time off of the clock. We have 2.0 on the clock. It should be white ball. White had team control. It should be a throw in at the spot to where they are possessing the ball. But we have no ability in that instance because we don't have definitive knowledge of time to take off the clock. Have we disadvantaged white in that situation? Oh, it's messy, messy business. What would a takeaway be from me? Talk to your table crew prior to the throw-in. Focus on being really good. Having crew awareness. Let's make sure we've discussed this, absolutely. Clock starting, clock stopping, end of game situations. Let's be great, have high awareness, etc. Tough situation, but in this situation, the team that scored was not disadvantaged by the timing error on the play. That's a wow. That's a wow. We could check out, but especially we could check out if we don't, when I see a lot of officials have a lack of discipline when it comes to their throw-in mechanics. It's not uncommon for me to see that. And I think what's missing is a fundamental recognition of what we're trying to do with our mechanics. We're saying, hold up, start it, right? We have better mechanics when we start our timeouts, right? 30-second, start it. Eye contact and a clear indication. And if we just recognize that the reason we're dropping our arm is to communicate with the timer, it can help us both in our body position, right, and making the signal towards the timer, etc., but also having precision. When the ball is, after we have a throw-in from the end line after a dead ball, and a team maybe rolls the ball forward, right? Having discipline, we've got our hand up, they haven't touched it, and having a very specific start to the touch. Dave, his first impression was more than 2 seconds transpired, but in the end, it proves that was not correct. What? What else are we going to look at, Joel? Come on. The old count in the head. Well, I think that was the energy in the building on this play. Because obviously they are school personnel. Actually, they didn't start at the chop. Was it a chop or was it just simply a deflation? It's like when the wavy arm guy at the tire repair shop gets turned off at the end of the day and he goes, but we are scoring that goal. Kevin says the lead chopped it, but did he? He dropped an arm, or was it a chop? Let's see. See, what's missing to me is an indication to the timer. Start it with precision. Well, the primary responsibility for chopping in this instance belongs to the lead, the administering official. The trail official mirrors the chop, but Are we actually mirroring, or are we actually chopping on the touch in this instance? The trail official is not going to be looking at the lead here and saying, okay, as soon as you chop, I'm going to chop in this instance. Of course. Of course. You know, that's a great point, Zooch. We did not tell our home team to remain seated in this situation prior to the throw-in. Did that have any impact on the ability for the clock operator to see our lead official? Maybe, maybe not. Possible. I don't have that information, Adam. That is the $1 million question to me in this situation. If you recognize once the clock didn't stop between the time it should have, when it was caught up top, and maybe when the ball is in flight, do we kill it? And if we do, right, then what do we do? If we killed it while the ball was in flight, where are we going to put the ball in? What's the situation? I think we have to, in that situation. Are we disadvantaged? They're still going to get 2 seconds because we don't have the ability to make an adjustment without definitive knowledge. That is the $1 million question. It's tough. It's tough because you have to make an instantaneous decision. I'm going to kill this play, right? When a shot is imminent. You know, I had a situation in my one of my recent playoff games where we had a shot clock situation where the shot clock should have been reset, but my partner killed the play just as a pass was going to an open shooter on the wing, right? And it's like, do we want to kill the play in that situation? We need to make an adjustment, but is it more important to kill that or wait for an opportune time to kill it? We don't have an opportune time on this play. Right? And we got to make a quick decision. Super tough. Exactly. We just don't have it, you know, in this situation, there's no opportunity to do anything other. Oh, interesting. I don't think there's rules support for that, Billy Mack. I don't think there's rules support. Smarty pants. That is true. That is a non-visible count. CT asks, doesn't the clock start on a roll in when the ball touches inbounds? No. What causes the clock to start on a inbounds play? When it is legally touched inbounds. Right? So when the ball is rolled, the clock remains stopped. Shot clocks, if you have them, remain in at their previous number. And they start on the legal touch inbounds by any player, right? So if we have a throw-in situation, the ball is contacted by the defense, the clock starts. If you have a shot clock situation, the shot clock starts. That is supposition, counselor. Good get, Rick. Yeah. Jason, thanks a lot. Yeah, to me, that's what's missing. And again, when are we starting preparing for our definitive chop in a situation like this? In the preseason, in our first game, every game thereafter, end of game situation, communication, preparation, communication with our table crew, etc. So Jacob says, let's say there was 5 seconds on the throw in, and our only recourse is to stop play and resume the clock at the throw in. Well, we wouldn't resume at the throw in once the ball has been touched inbounds. Once the ball has been touched inbounds, basketball has been played, and our point of interruption will be something else. If the clock starts while the ball is in flight, we could kill that and say back at the original spot, 2 seconds. If the ball is touched and the clock fails to start, our opportunity to do that has ended, because now basketball has been played, and we would have to go with team control on the court with the player holding the ball right here, right? That would be our point of interruption. That would be where the resulting throw-in would be. Don't get me started, Dave. Let me rant a minute. My last playoff game, I go to the table at 10:30, right? The scorer is there. Both books are there. Where's my table crew? I need a timer and a shot clock operator. Where are they? Oh, I don't know. They're right. It turns out they're high school students, which I have no problem with high school students working at the table. Some of them are the best at working the table. These were not these two were not the best. And their attitude was, yeah, I've done this before. Yeah, okay. You want to lecture me about starting, not anticipating the steal and the shot clock, whatever. Were they great? No, they were not. Just on my next playoff game, when I talk to the site administrator before the game, I am going to emphasize I need my table crew in place at the 10:30 mark, because we'll be coming to the table and I need them in place. I need them to be ready to receive instruction and confirmation, etc., about how we're going to approach things tonight. Did we have horns at 15 seconds and 0 on our timeouts each and every time? No, we did not. Did we have shot clock issues? Yes, we did. My insolent pair at the table are not on my Christmas card list. Okay, rant over. Thanks, Darwin. We got a few more bonus plays. Jared, our opportunity to go back to the throw-in spot would have ended in that situation. Oh, okay. I could make that a recurring segment. The Get Off My Lawn segment. Oh, tremendous. All right, let's move on to another bonus play. Wow, quite a situation on this play. 0.3 seconds remaining. The team is trailing by 2. That's my understanding on this play. Throw-in pass is released. Player goes up, catches the basketball, releases a try, but is fouled before the end of quarter signal, which in this instance would be the lights on the backboard ahead of any horn that sounded. That's what we have on this play. How would we properly adjudicate this play? 0.3 seconds, player catches the ball. Isn't the game over? Can the foul be ruled in this instance? How do we handle this situation? This is a unique situation and one that we want to get right. How many officials are going to get this play adjudication correct at the high school level? I would say a very, very, very small percentage. Let's look at the play on its face. Right? We're disregarding the... what are you doing? Oh. Does this player catch the basketball? It would appear that they do. They are fouled prior to the end of quarter signal. If the foul occurred after the signal, what would we have on this play? And what's the correct adjudication here? We have challenges here, right? This is a situation where 0.3 is remaining. We know by rule a player may not catch and release a try for goal in this situation. When the player catches the basketball, doesn't that end the period? No, it does not. A foul can occur in the interval between when they caught the ball and released the try. But is it considered a try in this situation? By rule, it is not, because the player cannot catch and release a try in that period. NFHS has that case play, you know, that one that covers this very unique situation. The player's foul will be penalized, but it is not a try for goal by rule. So if the team was not in the bonus, they would have an end line throw-in, except time had expired. Would we put time back on the clock if this foul occurred at 0.1? Do we have any definitive knowledge that allows us to do that? No. So whatever we do in this situation is going to be done with 0 on the clock and the lane cleared if there's any resulting free throws. This is not a shooting foul. They will not be awarded 2 free throws related to shooting the basketball in this situation. The correct adjudication would be to go to bonus free throws if they were merited. If it was 1-1, they would be allowed a first, and if that was successful, they would be allowed a second. And the result of that second free throw would determine whether it would be overtime. Remember, this was a 2-point game. My understanding is the officials did not count the goal in this situation. That would be the correct adjudication. And they did award 2 free throws. I have no details in this situation about whether they were bonus free throws or they were related to the shooting foul. But the player who was, and I don't know whether they filled the lane or not, but the player missed the first free throw and made the second free throw. Right, which means that we didn't quite get this play correct. By rule in NFHS, time has expired. The foul has occurred prior to the horn. If there are bonus merited free throws, they would be attempted with the lane cleared. If the first free throw is successful, we would have a second free throw. If the first free throw was unsuccessful, even if there was a merited free throw to follow, the game would be over, since the merited free throw would have no impact on the result of the game. So this is that case play come to life. The case play that says in this situation, the player is fouled before the horn, but it is not a shooting foul by rule. When you see the case play, it seems like, oh, that can never happen. And then here it is. It comes to life, and we love it. We love to see case plays come to life. It makes us recognize that in our own game, we need to be prepared to adjudicate plays that may be extremely non-intuitive. This is a great play for us to look at. Live stream viewers, give me just a moment. And with that, thanks for joining us today for 5 Play Friday. Much appreciated. You know I would appreciate if you would do all of the things, hitting the like and the subscribe. Don't forget the notify bell as well. And do allow me a moment to thank those who fuel our broadcast, our tremendous show supporters, Jason Mays, Bill Brand, Richard Masterson, Jeffrey Jorgensen, and Gene Boglin. Much appreciated and much love. Yes, of course there'll be a link. It's down in the show description. And of course, wait a minute. Of course there's one up above. Indeed, we have for you, what do we have? Additional video action. There's a video here that you'll enjoy. There's a video here that you'll enjoy. Make a choice. Choose wisely. We'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Yeah, that went pretty well. All right. I got a couple more bonus plays. It really helps with the editing if I can do things sequentially. I appreciate that. You sticking around? Okay, let the disagreements begin. Have you? No goal can be scored, but Mike says foul and count it. And one ref. No bucket, right? So imagine you're on the crew. Mike's on the crew with Dave Craig. Dave says, we're scoring that baby and we're going to shoot one. And Mike says, we cannot have a goal. It's like, well, okay, then we'll shoot two. No, we cannot shoot two. Wave it off. And then what? Adam is a smarty pants. He's got it. Appearances. This is going to be a high communication scenario, right? Can you imagine this occurring in your game? Right? First of all, your crew, are you going to, if you know the proper adjudication in this situation, right? Are you going to be able to convince your crew that that is the proper way to go? Are we going to get together as a crew and discuss this play? Right, we've got a play that a team that's celebrating, right? Our crew is saying, hey, go to your benches, hold on, go to your benches. Keeping people off the court, all good, right? We're going to get together as a crew. We're going to have to sort this out. What do you have, first of all? Did the foul occur before the horn? That's really critical in this equation, right? If the foul occurs after the horn, then what do we have? What do we have? All right, so now we're going to come together as a group. We're going to have to come out of this with the adjudication on the play. Who's going to know? Is this a situation we're going to have to bring the coaches together to discuss the adjudication? I would say probably, right? Because we're going to need to, we're going to end the game after the free throws potentially, and we just need to do whatever we can to put a bow on the situation. This would be a great walkthrough to have a mental exercise of how exactly things would go in this situation. I do not understand the uniform situation in this league. It's obviously not a thing. Okay. Well, yeah, I didn't highlight that on the. Kevin says it seems that the contact occurs before the catch. That would be a real key equation, or would it? Would it affect the adjudication on this play since there was no try, right? If we have a foul, let's say a player, goes up for an alley-oop and somebody backs under them and the foul occurs before the catch, then it would go to bonus free throws. That is a true statement. Okay. Zuch has it. I wish, so it was really surprising to me, all right, like DeMatha High School, right, that this is like, you know, a big time program, famous, obviously. I go online to look at what happened in the game. Like, who were the reporters, the high school reporters who were on the game or on Twitter? Nothing, except for free throws were attempted, missed the first, made the second, game over. So I assume since they shot a second, they put like 0.1 on the clock just cause. Ay, ay, ay. Mike and I are going to fight about the lane being cleared because the clock operator failed to stop the clock prior to the expiration of time. If the team was not in the bonus and no time was on the clock, game over. Thanks, Aaron. This is the case play come to life. Literally, when you read the case play, it's like, how is that going to happen? So it's great to see it. Thanks, Rise. Da, da, da. I don't know what that means, Joe. Did I screw something up? Billy Mack has the case play. A5 is fouled by B3 just prior to the end of period signal. The ball goes through A's basket. Ruling, since A5 may not control the ball and attempt to try with 0.3 of a second or less, A5 cannot score a goal and therefore is not considered in the act of shooting. However, B3's foul cannot be ignored and is considered a common foul. A5 is awarded a 1-and-1 bonus free throw situation with the lanes cleared. A5's free throw attempts will determine if the game is over or if an overtime period is necessary. And of course, if in this situation they were down by 2, if their first free throw was unsuccessful, they would not be awarded a second free throw since it would not affect the outcome of the game. Excellent. Laker fan, the case is 5.2.5 situation C. It's provided by Billy. Is that important? Hey, thanks, Jim. Thanks for submitting that play from Utah. It's on its face. It's really a great play to look at for all of the things, but also for what the can of worms that it opens up about what we would do in other situations relative to recognition of the clock. But thanks, Jim, for submitting that play from Utah. Yes, it did signal foul, and that the goal was successful. All right. Okay. Awesome. We're rolling. All right. Another great play scenario for live stream viewers. Let's take a look at another bonus play. All right. We have a situation here where the wrong free throw attempts the merited free throws. This should be a technical foul by rule. This is not recognized by the crew. What do we have in this situation? How would we handle it in this situation? This is really challenging for me because for me, it's like we are not going to allow this situation to occur. And yet, if we watch the behavior of the players, they are exhibiting unsporting action. Should we not then penalize that unsporting action as the rules intend? Or should we say, I see what you're trying to do, but I'm going to not allow you to do it? Or do we allow them to do it and then assess a penalty? Is that the appropriate thing to do in this situation? It's great to have a chance to think this through so we don't have to do that thinking while we're on the court. But let's look exactly what we have in this situation. We have a player who during rebounding action is fouled. It's ruled to be on the rebound itself, right? The foul is ruled to have occurred here, not on the basket. The players exhibit, I can't believe it. Oh, I think that's supposed to be, you should have allowed the goal, etc. That's all well and good. But then what happens next? White 3 gets over it and says, you know what? I'm a pretty good free throw shooter. I'm going to go to the line. And we see the offended player here gets a talking to by his teammate. What are they talking about? You think they're talking about the game or what they're going to do? Or it's like, hey, I think we're getting counsel to let's let Billy shoot this one, right? And then we have a player who has not should not be awarded merited free throws at the line to shoot. Their first free throw is successful. Our crew did not recognize this situation, and so you have to ask yourself, would I recognize in this situation? Do I have habits and fundamentals in place in this situation that is going to help me identify the appropriate shooter on this play? Or is there a void in my habits and fundamentals that would allow this to potentially occur in my game? I saw this play and then another play where something similar happens. Do you think in my recent games, I had renewed my effort to always identify who the fouled player was, did the ball go in, etc., as a non-calling official? Who should be aware in this situation? Should our calling official be aware? Should our non-calling officials be aware? We have two officials who are moving in this situation. Should our center official have primary responsibility here? What habits and fundamentals do we have in place to help prevent this? And if we see this situation occur, like in this situation, the correct player would have been, what's his number? I can't see it. You see how he's sort of wandering around like, wow, are they really going to let us do this? Okay, right? Is it number 11? I don't know. But whatever it is. And let's say we're on this game and we see the whole thing. Let's say we're the center and we see this whole thing occurring. And I know who the correct shooter is. And I see this player go to the line. And I see our correct shooter not have any action that would say, I see the discussion. And then I see them not take any action. Should I say, all right, no, I'm stepping in and I'm going to fix this play, right? Our correct shooter is this player. Because this is intentional action. This is not like, I thought I was, there was rebounding action. Multiple players were involved. They thought they were the one who got fouled. And it's just, inadvertent that they went to the free throw line. They really thought they were fouled. That's obviously not the case here. This is an intentional unsporting action. Should we then fix it or should we penalize? When do we penalize? Do we penalize right here before the free throw is attempted? It's a great chance to think all this through. Because we really cannot allow this to occur. And by preventing it from occurring, we're sort of, it's a real dilemma for me. I think we have to penalize this unsporting action. And whether that means, okay, I'm going to lay in wait and allow an actual event to occur, them attempting the free throw before I kill the play, or, you know, it's challenging. It's challenging. But to me, this has to be penalized. And whether we do it before, like whether we do it right here, even before the free throw is attempted, just step in as a center and say, player technical, that player right there, right? And then get our crew together, etc. Otherwise, when, yeah, it's pisses me off. This pisses me off, right? Is it time for another rant? Because Adam, the technical is for attempting free throws to which they were not due. I forget the exact language, right? Has this player, he stepped to the line, has he attempted the free throw? No. So that's sort of like where the little the hole in the rule is. Well, hello, Brayton. Unsporting chicanery. So I'd be interested to hear how others, are we just going immediately to a technical foul? Or do we have to lay in wait, which in our own part seems kind of dirty, that I had to do that. It seems much cleaner to just recognize this player is taking an unsporting action, whether they've attempted the free throw or not, and I'm going to assess a technical foul. Would we open ourselves up? Again, this is an end of game situation, 1 point game. Would we open ourselves up to not doing something correctly by rule? I don't think we're going to get any guidance or case play about this situation. So we're sort of left to our own devices here. All right. And so I guess I saw an article that after the fact, there was no blame placed in this situation, that going down the path of, after the fact, I think there was video evidence that this occurred. There were no penalties related to that. It was just sort of like, well, live and learn. And I don't know that there should be any subsequent penalties. A player had an unsporting act in a game and it was not penalized in the game. Does that mean that they should be suspended? Right? No. Mike says, did the trail point to the shooter and lose him? Let's take a look. Wow, the trail had the foul. Ugh. No, he was pointing at his partner. No, you take it. Didn't see that. That's messy. That, Mike, is the question that I have. I think I would wait until the ball is at their disposal. If I really thought this through, again, it just, yeah. But if we saw the whole sequence, I see my offended player. I see the non-offended player go to the line. I see my offended player have a discussion with his teammate, right? And then sort of like, their behavior, like everybody, they all recognize what's occurring. I'd sort of like wait for that all to, the entrapment of it all. Ugh. But I know my first reaction would be, no, I'm going to fix. Yeah, I have This play really pisses me off. And then there's one in Wisconsin as well. I think we had it in the last show. Yeah. Yeah, so if the ball's at their disposal, they are attempting. That's why I'm leaning towards wait till the ball's at their disposal, because if they release the throw, well, it's correctable, It's unmerited for that player. I think we could have had patience on the whistle, but we did have a whistle from trail here that we do notice now. Oh. Yeah, to me it's not like, oh, this we have to nip this behavior in the bud related to, oh, if they'll just keep doing it. We have to nip this, we have to adjudicate this properly, because it's a game deciding situation. Now, if it was the middle of the second period and this occurred, it would be super unlikely to occur in that situation. A team is probably going to break this out, in an end of game situation, whether they'd talked about it or had done it before, who knows? But we've got to get this play right for this game. I don't care about what happens in the future. I don't care about any reputation the player brings forward with them. I care about this game with 11.1 seconds and the game in the balance. We have to adjudicate this play properly. Yeah, so here in California, we for the state playoffs, our crews more or less are set, and we're going to advance and do games together. And to me, prior to our first game, we're going to have an extensive pregame. But you can't cover everything, right? And then in subsequent games, I'd want to build on the existing pregame that we've had. And we can talk about end of game situations, talk about unique stuff, etc., habits and fundamentals, things that we executed well, things we could really improve upon from our previous game, etc. You have that advantage. I know some people in some parts of the country work with crews. This is your crew, and you work that with the same guys every night. That is certainly not the case here in the beautiful San Francisco Bay Area, and it would not be the case during most playoffs. But then when we get to the state playoffs, that would be the case. So whether or not we covered, this situation in our first pregame, we'd want to get to it in subsequent ones. All right. Mike is encouraging laying in wait. And I agree. I think that's what we have to do here. And of course, we're seeing the whole thing unfold, right? We're seeing, just like if you see an unsporting action by a player, almost always we're going to penalize it immediately, but this is not something that we really can penalize immediately. So it creates that situation where we have to defer or rather than lay in wait, we have to allow the unsporting action to unfold. We recognize that it may be beginning to occur. Ay. That's a good point, Joel. That's a good point. Yes. So if we did lay in wait and assess a player technical, the player who was due their merited free throws would be allowed to attempt their merited free throws with the lane cleared. And then any opponent or eligible subset would attempt their technical foul free throws at the other basket, followed by a division line throw in opposite the table. That would be the correct adjudication. Yeah, but that play pisses me off, man. Uh-oh. I was ready to move on. Okay, Mike says the lead pointed to the shooter. Let's take a look. As he walked to the table, he says, on the floor. On the floor. He does point to the shooter. He does, right? Which also reinforces the fact that, you know, as a reporting official especially, we're thinking about our call. We're thinking, should I have waited, let him shoot? Okay, but anyway, I got the foul. I'm going to report it. We turn around. Everything's in place. We're maybe not focused on the fact that the wrong shooter is at the line. But that's a good point as well. So he had fundamental habits and fundamentals in place by identifying the shooter. The crew did not pick up on it. And he, when he turned around to recognize what happened in the game, I agree with you, Mike. I agree. There's something to be said for making. Let's not overly complicate this. Yeah, Yeah, I'm not. Especially now that I've seen it. But with that, for live stream viewers only. Oh, a Chris Janish play, finally. Well, that's a fine how do you do. So, as we've talked about in previous shows, sometimes we're coming together after a foul has occurred to make a determination whether this is a common foul. This is a collegiate game, but if we took this play to National Federation of High School, is this a common foul? Is this an intentional foul? But other times we're coming in and it's like, is this an intentional foul or is this a flagrant foul? Right? The common foul is off the table, right? And that's what I think we have in this situation. We're going to have a discussion about this play. We've got two officials who saw the action. They're going to communicate. They're going to come up with a ruling on this play. What would you have on this play? Common, intentional, or flagrant? And how would you justify your ruling in this situation? Right, so we have two players in the post. We've got a hold, floppage, and then an arm swings down, strikes the player in the head, it would appear. Two officials come together. What is your ruling on this play? Right? This is not uncommon action. You could say, oh, we should rule a double foul in this situation, or we could wait for advantage gained. But we do have an arm that swings down in a violent or savage nature. Yeah. I mean, that is a swing, head contact, etc. And you're going to need to make a judgment. I think in this case, what they did is they went with flagrant and disqualification. I guess that would be an F2, flagrant 2 at the collegiate level. If we were to make a similar ruling, it would be a flagrant personal foul. The offended player would be due 2 free throws with the lane cleared and the ball at the spot nearest the foul. I believe that would be the appropriate ruling on this play. The fact that there's 2 officials who got the same look on the play. And this, of course, brings up the discussion, how are we going to communicate as we're going to get together. So as in this situation, what are we going to do? We're going to send players to the benches. We're going to get together, discuss all the things, make sure everybody's participation is available. Center may or may not have anything on this play. We wouldn't expect them to. But they do have a non-competitive matchup. Let's see if they react to the hit. No, but I think they're looking right at it, right? So we could have, what do you have on this play, right? That's a great language to have. It's like, I think we should consider this or that. What do you have? When you see this play, what do you have? Do you have intentional? Do you have flagrant? Do you have common, right? And what do you have? Based on what you saw, what do you have? And that's our beginning of our discussion on a play like this. I have flagrant for a violent and savage swing head contact. Another might have, I have kind of like the soft part of his arm came down, etc. And we're going to discuss from there, right? But we need to come in with what you have. Here's what I saw. I saw this. In my judgment, this is this, right? And then that's a great basis for our discussion on this play. Violent and savage in nature. Coach is like, technical. That's a technical. Not quite. Mike has flagrant. Dave has flagrant for sure. Kevin says intentional. Could a hook and hold be flagrant? I would not consider that to be violent or savage in nature. No. I don't see anything about I don't see anybody indicating any double foul. Right, and obviously in a situation like you can say, oh, why don't you just call the first foul, right? But these players may have, can we call them all, right? We have to make judgments about players in this situation who are, fighting for position, etc. It's easy after the fact to say, well, if you just called that first foul, you wouldn't have this foul, right? This is true, and obviously it's true. Lance says the look down after the hit sells me on disqualification. Can we consider that? the reaction of the player who committed the act? I don't see anything by White that causes a retaliatory action, right? We do have the hold, and Black seems to really take offense with the hold, right? And responds with a retaliatory action. I think what he's probably signaling is we're telling the players to go to their benches. I would be really surprised if we're coming in with a double foul after this. I'd be really surprised. I think the indication is we're going to send players to their benches so we can discuss this. Oh, give me just a second here. Let's see. Do we have one play to go out on? I'm going to save those all for next week. All right. Well, I hope what? Oh. So Mike says, why are we inbounding under the basket on the original throw-in? Let's go there. Obviously, after a scored goal, I'm going to be a little flexible there. If there's no defensive pressure and a player wants to be, so I'm not going to bring them necessarily outside. If it's after a timeout, which I would assume this is actually, I'm usually going to say, just give them an indication where I want them to start. Starting here, you can move, etc. We are 2.5 hours in. I got to get to work. I hope that we've got remaining games on the schedule. If you do not, of course, this is usually sort of a rec ball AAU part of the season as well. After the season, some people are going to be moving on to other sports, spring sports. But for me, I have potentially 4 more games on the schedule, and I'm looking forward to executing those really well.
Show on Wednesday. Question.
Show on Wednesday. Yes. Yeah. Adam, of course. Remind me what play it is. Okay. So many of you have playoff games, right? If you don't, then we're working on preparing for the playoff games next year, right? If we haven't gotten them yet, right? Working towards that goal, getting the big game, etc. I know over the weekend I've got the big 6th grade CYO championship. Yeah. Some people have section finals. Not me. I got the big one. 6th grade CYO. That's me, baby. No, not for me this year. No, not for me. Maybe never again, but not for me this year. I best case scenario is a semifinal for me, and I am more than happy with that. Hopefully, again, this is unique for us here in California to work with the same crew for multiple games, and it's really valuable. I really enjoy it. You get a great rapport going with your crew almost always. And it's really a bonding experience you can't take away. We went through the wars together. I had a great run a few years ago now, with a crew. We just had great games the entire way through. That's the other thing as well, because like some people are going to have first round games, starting next Tuesday for the state tournament, and it's going to be 83-17, right? Somebody's got to ref that game. But I've been super fortunate in my career having games that were really great games and brought our skills to bear. And we always want to be ready for all the situations, are we? Right? We see plays, here, and it's like, would I have been ready for that? Would I have been recognized that the clock didn't start? Would I know what to do in the moment? Right? Etc. All the things. It's not easy. It's not easy, but when we see stuff in advance, have a chance to hash it out, we can get better and be a little more prepared. Thank you, Clarence, for joining us. Rules book, casebook as well. Casebook as well. Okay. Thank you, Billy. Appreciate everybody joining today. I am going to... I'm going to wrap it up. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do all the things. I'm going to have some breakfast. Come on, I've been up since 4. Ay, ay, ay. Maybe the tech team needs to be fed as well. All right, everybody. Have a great one. We'll see you next week, both Wednesday and Friday. And, yeah. Have a good one. Take care.